Tencent is famous for its social networking platforms, WeChat and QQ, as well as games. But the internet giant has always wanted to break into the e-commerce world, where its rival Alibaba has achieved huge success. 2 years after Jack Ma founded Alibaba and the C2C marketplace Taobao.com, Tencent launched its own version, Paipai.com, in 2005. The e-commerce site kicked off to a strong start, soon becoming the only player in China that could take on Alibaba's Taobao after it attracted more than 50 million users in 2007. But as Taobao consolidated its position over subsequent years and Tencent faltered in its devotion to an online marketplace, investment from Tencent slowed down, and Paipai.com quickly lagged behind, eventually pushed to the fringes of Tencent's business empire. In 2014, Tencent partnered with JD.com, and Paipai.com was later sold to JD.com. In exchange, Tencent received a 15% share in JD.com. Paipai.com ended up closing in late 2015 as a result of rampant counterfeiting on the marketplace, although it later resurfaced as an online flea market, competing with Alibaba's Xianyu, which is currently the largest of its kind in China. Although Tencent's foray into the e-commerce sector collapsed, and it hasn't had its own giant platform like Taobao, it has invested in many other e-commerce companies. Tencent's partnership with JD.com granted the latter access to its WeChat and QQ platforms, as well as enabled JD transactions to be fulfilled via WeChat Pay. And JD has quickly grown to become a forceful rival to Alibaba. In 2020, JD.com's GMV reached nearly $400 billion, with Tencent being JD's biggest shareholder with 17.8% of shares, netting Tencent an 18 times return on its investment. The success of JD reset Tencent's approach for doing e-commerce. Instead of rolling up its own sleeves, Tencent turned to prop up its online shopping investees to compete against Alibaba. Tencent has also cast its eyes overseas. In January 2020, London-based luxury fashion e-tailer Farfetch announced that it secured a $125 million investment from Tencent to accelerate its growth in China. And in September of 2020, Tencent reportedly invested $62.8 million in Indian e-commerce giant Flipkart through its Singapore-based entity. Another fierce battleground behind the e-commerce race is the e-payment sector. Alibaba has Alipay, which has the greatest share of China's third-party online payment market, with 54.4%, and Alibaba excludes the use of Tencent's WeChat Pay on its e-commerce apps and sites, including Taobao and Tmall. WeChat Pay has the second largest share, with 39.4%. On the other hand, WeChat's dominant position gave Tencent some hope in flanking Taobao from the mobile end. Tencent has been toying around with the idea of letting sellers and buyers converge on China's most popular messaging app. Since the summer of 2020, Tencent launched a so-called mini-shop initiative on WeChat, allowing merchants to set up virtual shops on the app. Mini-shop, which is a plugin embedded within public accounts, provides a variety of tools optimized for mobile shopping experience, from product display, order and logistics management, marketing, payments, customer service, to live streaming. By simply enabling it from a public account, anyone could turn their public account into a virtual mobile shop without requiring a technical team. It won't be centralized as JD.com or Alibaba's Taobao, but it could help Tencent draw smaller businesses to the platform. With firmly established players in China's e-commerce sector, it's not easy to break into the market, even for a giant like Tencent, which doesn't have a direct rival to Taobao or Tmall which it can call its own. But through a combination of investing in Alibaba's e-commerce rivals, as well as leveraging its strong social network platforms to attract small businesses, Tencent is making sure it remains relevant in the e-commerce game.